Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been way too long since I posted a video like this. I think there's a chance that there may be a video coming out just before this one, so if there is a show match between Taibu and Logic, please go check that out. Huge fan of those guys. Really good show match between the two of them, so I had a really fun time recording that one. But we are back. We've got some more ranked replays, and this time it's a little bit special for me. This one isn't necessarily going to be something mind-blowing, but it's going to be something a little bit unique. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of Wizz. Wizz is a top-ranked player, if it'll ever show up. Let's see if this will show up. There it goes. Wizz is a top-ranked player in North America as well as worldwide. Was able to get the #1 spot last season for a couple of weeks there. I'd say a couple of really good weeks where there's a lot of stiff competition, and sort of just proves himself as one of the best 1v1 players in North America. And the reason this one's special to me is because I'm friends with Wizz. Wizz is a really good dude. I met Wizz back when I was working for Team Volted a very long time ago. He had been a 1v1 player playing in some of the Team Meteor tournaments, and I got to watch him as he developed into this monster of a 1v1 player that he is now, and I've been screaming his name behind the scenes, telling people to go pay attention to him for a very long time. So to finally be able to get this attention, or to have him get this attention and see him get this spotlight, it feels really good. The spotlight is absolutely deserved, and I'm proud of Wizz for being able to get here. So without further ado, let me show you guys Wizz, and while we do this, while this one sort of starts up, let me also explain where I've been. I'd like to apologize for not putting out content on the channel. Unfortunately, I've just been really busy with RLCS. I've done RLCS in all 4 regions at this point, OCE, South America, NA, and EU. All 4 of them I've been doing RLCS coverage, and as a result, I haven't really had a lot of time to, do these 1v1 replays. And, well, Wizz doesn't really care about what I've been doing. He's going to score nonetheless, giving himself a 1-0 lead. But, yeah, it's just sort of been a really busy couple of months for me, and I'm going to try to get back into this YouTube grind. And I know I've said this every single time that I put out a video, which is, I'm going to try to. But no, seriously, I swear to you guys that I'm going to try to, because action like this that we're seeing on the field is just something I really always love watching. The 1v1 players in North America and in EU and just all around the planet are absolutely some of the best players on the planet, and they're just so much fun to watch. But speaking of best players on the planet, First has been the #1 guy in North America for quite some time. Despite not necessarily playing in all of the 1v1 competitions going around, he's really being, I'd say, able to solidify his spot as one of the best competitions on the planet. Oh, but you're going to have to be careful. When Wizz can do stuff like that, you're going to have to be able to reclaim your throne. Wizz with a 2-0 lead off a disgusting fake out in front of the net here. And we're only up 2-0 within about a minute here, so Firstkiller's got his work cut out for him. And this is sort of the thing for Wizz, every time I've seen him, he's performed against some of the best competition on the planet. I made sure to pick out some good replays for you guys here today, because this is not just a sort of a 1v1, series. Normally we do series here on the channel, but it's going to be more of a showcase, showing him against a bunch of really good 1v1 talent. And starting off against Firstkiller, he's done well so far, but now he's only up by 1, gave up a pretty easy goal from an overcommitment on offense, and unfortunately, this is sort of the standard in 1v1s. If you mess up on I'd call it an offensive attack, if any sort of setup, you will get punished pretty quickly. Speaking of which, though, Firstkiller already back on his back heel once again. Wizz is going to go up the wall now, try and keep this pressure alive. He's looking around, trying to figure out when First was going to attack. Now you can see exactly where it is. Wizz just trying to interrupt here, put Firstkiller in an awkward position. But with low boost, he's really not in the right place at the right time here. 1 boost to his name. Firstkiller took both of the hundreds there. Now he's really got to be careful. He's pretty much just given space and time to Firstkiller, and that's something I was going to say you don't want to do, but Firstkiller messing up his flip reset might have given Wizz, no, it will not give him a free, I would say, free counterattack, but there's a chance there. If Wizz does play some good on-the-line defense, maybe sometimes you can recover a little bit quicker. Unfortunately, not this time. Wizz does win the kickoff, though. Going to try and run with this one out of the corner. Firstkiller going to interrupt and just try to carry this. Out to the side. Slow play for Wizz is probably a good idea. First has really been pretty reactive so far here. He's been trying to keep the pace very high, and that's something that Wizz is really good at doing, is breaking down pace and waiting for his opportunities. Oh, my word. Especially when you give him the time and space. Firstkiller, again, trying to play reactive on the line. Would rather just wait for the shot and then try and make the save, but as you can see, huge mistakes against a player like Wizz. He's just far too fast and far too lethal. And as he gets back into another offense, I don't think, he's not going to really be able to build this one. Not enough boost to his name, and Firstkiller's got time and space in the air. Not a good attack, though. Firstkiller trying to go for the resets on repeat here, and I can understand why. Flip resets in the air are one of the hardest things to try and stop as a defender, but at the same time, Wizz is very experienced with that. These counterattacks probably going to work out a little bit better for him. Wizz has been overcommitting on offense, and as a result, Firstkiller is able to go cross-court with these on repeat so far, so... Good stuff so far here from Wizz, though, for sure. He's definitely keeping the competition close. His biggest issue has been the overcommitments on offense, which Firstkiller is taking full advantage of. Speaking of which, though, Firstkiller really diving all in for that one. Yeah, not really sure why he was trying so desperately to turn that into a more intricate shot than it needed to, but as a result, Wizz just kind of hung back and waited for the counterattack. So far, 7 goals scored in about 3 minutes' time. Both of these guys are not necessarily playing the most stellar defense, kind of just waiting for their opportunities on offense and counterattacking from mistakes, which sometimes that's the way that 1v1 works. Sometimes it really is just taking advantage of your opponents overcommitting and taking advantage of these little mistakes. This is really a strategy at pretty much every level of Rocket League, whether it's 1v1, 3v3, or 2v2. It's pretty much everything that you can do. So, Firstkiller does give up another goal here. Now he's down by 2. With only about 2 minutes remaining, this is really where crunch time starts to set in. Players are going to start to adapt their play styles pretty heavily and try to figure out if they want to, go all defense, all offense, or what they really want to do. And considering Wizz is up by 2, he can kind of just waste time off the clock and make this comeback as difficult as possible. Oh, but Firstkiller might have gotten caught asleep there. Wizz gets a little bit of free time in the middle of the field, and now he's up by 3. And with 90 seconds to go, he really can waste as much time as he needs now. Does not need to panic whatsoever. Yeah, he's just forcing Firstkiller into these 50-50s now. Clever stuff out of Wizz. And this is why I like watching players like Wizz and iRicky play. They're very methodical in the way they play. He does give up a goal here due to a demo, but they're very patient in the way they play, and they take what they do very smart. I think that it's different when, I've talked about it on the channel before. There are players who are just mechanically gifted, and there's players who have Rocket League IQ and 1v1 IQ. Wizz is by far the epitome of 1v1 IQ. He's flashy. He can do some really impressive stuff. When it comes down to it, the reason he's beating so many of these high-level opponents is because he gets into their head and understands exactly what he should be doing. And, well, he's doing that on repeat here. Firstkiller continues to try and be reactive to every single play, and he keeps flicking it around him on repeat to force him into these awkward positions. First might have a shot here as he's got time, space, and a whole lot of boost, and oh no, Wizz, that was not the touch he really wanted to do. Wait a minute, is he going to get away with this? Somehow, Firstkiller does not punish off of a very awkward challenge, but he is going to punish off the follow-up. Maybe not. Wizz going to make a good save off of spawn, and now Firstkiller is just desperately trying to make some sort of goal here, give himself as much of a comeback potential as possible. Wizz starving off every single chance, and oh, wait a minute, I think he's got another. No, instead, Firstkiller's going to bow out with 20 seconds left. Wizz will take his victory here. And this is why I mentioned he's really a solid player. Those last 20 seconds or so, he was kind of just messing with the competition at that point. You could see him going against Firstkiller and on repeat, just making saves to pop it out of his half and just waste time. And for Firstkiller, that's a frustrating thing because he wanted to set up some more intricate shots. So well done to Wizz to start off here. But we're not done quite yet. Yeah, I know you guys can hear this in the background, so I apologize for having to force you guys into hearing this in the background. But the next player we're going to see is going to be him against another pro. So this guy is probably not as well known as Firstkiller, but I want to throw him in here because he's been a top-ranked ones player for quite some time. And in addition to being a top-ranked ones player, he's just someone I also somewhat know. Fefe is another really good player. He plays for, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say he's on Circuitry right now. Let me make sure of that before I act like a fool and tell you guys that he's on Parabellum, because that was the initial thought I had, and I was like, no, he's not. He's on Circuitry. So let me make sure of this. Yeah, Fefe is on Circuitry with Skies, Adverse, and then obviously, Fefe himself. They're coached by Ghost. Shout out to Ghost, friends with Ghost as well. And then their substitute is Melody. So Fefe has been around Rocket League and has been around the 1v1 scene for quite some time. He's a really, really good 1v1 player, and he's been, top level for quite some time. But now he's doing RLCS play as well, so he doesn't necessarily focus on 1v1 as much. That being said, still top 100, still taking down some really good wins every once in a while, and now he's got to try and do one against Wizz. So this is another ranked replay. All of these replays, by the way, are from either very late Season 1 when Wizz was #1 in the world, or very early Season 2, or excuse me, either Season 2 when Wizz was ranked #1 in the world, my mistake, or Season 3, which just started when Wizz is still trying to kind of climb his way back up and sort of solidify his, I'd say, appearance in the top 100. And as you can see already, Fefe is going to be a very, very different player than Firstkiller was. Fefe is a little bit more methodical in his 1v1 play. He's very smart in the way that he plays ones. It's patient play, to put it simply. And I'm realizing now, hold up, I am not on player cam, so that is my mistake. Let's put you guys back on Wizz. Let's go watch this from his perspective. Fefe versus Wizz. Once again, like I said, Fefe is really not a player that we should underestimate here. Yes, Wizz is one of the best 1v1 players on this planet, but Fefe is a very respectable player in his own right. And as you can see, he's keeping it close right now. This is something Firstkiller was not doing. He was not putting on that constant pressure, and that's part of the reason that Wizz was so good at playing against him. Firstkiller just kept trying to leave space to Wizz and then waiting for counterattacks, but eventually Wizz figured that out, stopped doing counterattacks, and all of a sudden he started being much more methodical with his plays. Fefe here, though, is not nearly giving Wizz the same sort of space, and as a result, he's going to give himself a 1-0 lead about a minute in here. You can kind of tell with a game like this, it's not going to be nearly as high scoring as the last one. Last one in total, if that 7th goal had gone in, would add 11 total. Here, I'd be surprised to see it get even halfway through that, but no, we're going to have to see. So far, Fefe versus Wizz is being very, very slow played. Wizz just trying to buy himself some room there with a good flick. Needs this corner boost to spawn, but it shows up late. He does stay on it, though, because he recognizes that Fefe didn't pick up that corner either, so awkward position means that he can put a little bit of extra pressure on offense, but I say a little bit. He's already back into his own half and waiting to see what Fefe does in the air here. Fefe, though, doesn't get the flip reset, so as a result, I think Wizz should have an open net on the other end. Indeed, he does. Ties it back up with about 3 minutes remaining here. Plenty of time and space for Wizz to try and bring this one back. And again, I'm not really trying to, cheer for Wizz. It's just more, hey, this is a showcase for Wizz. This is sort of, oh, no, Wizz, did you just open? I can't say it's a showcase and then you missed the open net, brother. That's not how that one's going to work. Unfortunate miss for Wizz, but I think he'll do just fine. Good flick out. No, please tell me he didn't just miss another one. Oh, my God. Wizz, what's going on here, man? I'm trying to give you compliments and you're making it about as difficult as possible. You can't miss this one. Please tell me. No, it's just not enough power. Wizz with a very, very extended stay on offense here. Fefe, unfortunately, is just not able to break out and eventually does make a minor error in front of the net, which Wizz will take advantage of. About half the game gone so far here, 15 seconds off from that, and Fefe versus Wizz is about as nail-biting as I expected. Definitely a little bit sloppier than I expected. Wizz showing a little bit of vulnerability here as he unfortunately makes a couple misses in front of the net in a row. But the good thing is he's still keeping this one close against Fefe. And I was very heads up what he just did in the corner. Doesn't really seem like it, but that pit maneuver made it so that Fefe now does not have a lot of boost. Yeah, he had to go for that corner boost as best he could, and now he's overcommitted. Wizz knows this. He's going to keep putting pressure until Fefe gets way too awkward and backs off. I don't know if he's going to do that. Fefe really playing a pressed offense. Yeah, he continues to attack here. Into the corner he goes. More pressure. Now Wizz has got to try and just buy some space here. Fefe has proven that he's not going to give Wizz any extra space. And it's a really smart decision, to be honest, against a player like Wizz who you know can take a shot from pretty much anywhere on the field. You kind of have to keep it close because otherwise, yep, he's going to score cross-court within the blink of an eye, and that's exactly what Wizz does here. Finally gets a little bit of freedom out of the corner and pops it cross-court to put that one in. 150 remaining. There's time for Fefe to make a comeback here, but Wizz is starting to gain a lot more momentum, and he's playing against Fefe correctly. That's one of the biggest things, and that's part of the reason I'm so up and up about Wizz when it comes to his playstyle, is he adapts to how his opponents are playing and really does the best with the space that he is given. Speaking of which, baits in Fefe there, gets a really nice flick, follow-up from him. Not as good, but he should be able to recover here, and indeed he will. Fefe is really just trying to get some possession of the ball right now. Wizz is just kind of messing with him. Oh, and my game cut out. Sorry about that one. We are back. I hope you guys didn't lose too much. This is unfortunately an error I've been dealing with in Rocket League for the last couple, I'd say probably the last month or so. That sort of glitch has been happening. So if any of you guys have any idea why my game just randomly cuts out and goes to a black screen, please let me know. I really would love to know because it's an issue that I don't really know how to fix. But that's not neither here nor there. Wizz, oh my word, is still dominating on the field right now. He may have given up a goal to Fefe, but at 3-2, he's still got the lead and just needs to make sure that he can maintain that for the last minute of gameplay here, which he just might be able to. Ooh, risky challenge from Wizz. Decides to challenge at midfield here. Wants the dunk, but Fefe will not let him. 50 seconds remaining, and Fefe with a good pop shot. That should be in. No, it's off target, but so is the follow-up. Wizz should have had the save on the follow-up, but to be honest, got a little bit lucky there as that one went off the bar. 2 inaccurate shots in a row, and now Fefe is desperate. He needs that goal, and he needs it soon, and I think he just might. 3-3, it becomes 30 seconds left, and we could be eyeing up an overtime here. Honestly, against these two players, that would only be proper. Fefe really does deserve the respect that he gets in 1v1s. He's a really, really skilled 1v1 player, and I don't think he necessarily gets enough of a shout-out for that. He's definitely more primarily focused on for circuitry nowadays, but still very, very good 1v1 player in his own right and is very good at what he does. Unfortunately, though, I think he just got baited a little bit. Yup, Wizz faked like he was going for the corner boost, and now he's just onslaughting shot after shot after shot. Fefe does not have enough boost here that he can be too careless. And speaking of which, one unfortunate 50, and that'll be that. Fefe now down by 1 with 5 seconds remaining. Question is can he get a perfect kickoff and try and take us into overtime? Looks like not. Wizz going to just try and run with this one. You can see the pressure he's trying to keep by staying close. And Fefe, unfortunately, I don't think he got, that good of a touch. He's going to try and carry this one in the corner. Maybe he'll be able to keep this one up. No, Wizz going to spike it off the backboard. And second win in a row now for Wizz. I'd like to point out, though, before we continue this video, this is not Wizz playing all of these games back to back to back. These are just random games from a couple of different sessions. Like I said, they were taken either late Season 2 or early Season 3. I'm not exactly sure on the dates of all of these, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, as you can see, Wizz is playing against the best of the competition. He's taking a win against Firstkiller, taking a win against Fefe, and now we've got one more that I'm going to show you guys. I saved this one for last just purely because of the fact that I'm sorry about which field it is on. That is unfortunately not something that I control. It's just, they play on these fields, and I think you guys can guess which one this is going to be. So, final one of the day. It's going to be Wizz versus Daniel. Daniel versus Wizz is, well, if you guys don't know who Daniel is, you should probably find out. Daniel is one of the top under 15 players in all of North America, as well as worldwide, and it does actually really lead me into another interesting point. I don't think I mentioned this about Wizz throughout the rest of the video, but Wizz is also 14. Wizz is not 15. The only reason he's not competing in RLCS play is because he is technically not legally allowed to play in them yet. He's too young. So instead, he's been a 1v1 grinder, a 1v1 just killer, I'd put it simply, as he puts out his first goal here against Daniel. And this is sort of why I've been so up and up on Wizz, is I think he's one of the best young prodigies out there in North America right now. I think he's one of the best prodigies worldwide as well. And I think that people are really going to need to focus on him as time goes on. I think he's a really, really good player who deserves a lot of attention. And so, I mean, that's part of why I'm putting out this video here, is because I want you guys to be able to see what type of player this guy is. Unfortunately, he's a player who's lost 2 kickoffs in a row, and from going up 1-0 is now down 2-1. But, really solid player nonetheless. I think he's a really, really good player and does some great stuff on the field. Like I said, his 1v1 IQ is absolutely stellar. He plays so well against a plethora of different opponents and really is able to make the necessary adjustments. And he's really going to have to make the adjustments against Daniel. Daniel is also a really good 1v1 player in his own right, as I believe I said already. I do have videos of him on this channel playing against some other competition. He's been really good against all that competition as well. But at the same time, I think that, Wizz is a good player who can necessarily adapt to a player like this, and I think he is probably going to. Daniel is really aggressive in the way that he plays. It makes you feel like he's just ball chasing the whole time, but it really isn't. It's very methodical. It's very, I'd say, calculated every time, to where he just kind of annoys you. He plays what I would call is a nuisance style of play, and it's probably my favorite play style in Rocket League, because it's just sort of, what are you supposed to do against it? Well, to be fair, I say what are you supposed to do against it, but I'm not that good. Wizz seems to have this one red. Random challenges at midfield here are going to give him some good 50-50s going in his favor. Definitely going to benefit him greatly here. With about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock in a tied ball game, it's now a bit even again. Daniel, though, looks like he wants to try and break that evenness. Oh, my word. Almost able to spike that one into the ground and get a decent pinch on target, but Wizz got in the way early. Speaking of getting in the way early, yeah, I thought so. Challenge off the backboard, not necessarily the most opportune, and Daniel knew that, baited him into that one pretty easily. And as a result, he finds a 3-2, not victory, I'd say lead again. Wizz finally getting a good kickoff in his favor. Ooh, that's not necessarily the most powerful, but it'll work out. Awkward positioning nonetheless. Daniel cannot recover, and as a result, Wizz will take the 3-3. And sometimes it's kind of how it is in 1v1s. You take the goals that you can get. Honestly, that's kind of how it is in Rocket League. Yeah, it may not be the prettiest goal ever, but hey, if it works, it works. And speaking of which, Wizz finally going to show a little bit of aerial prowess there, but missed the boost in the corner, and this could be deadly. Daniel's got 100, and he's got plenty of space. Oh, but he is not invulnerable to the fakes. Wizz, with a good fake out on the backboard, is going to force Daniel into a very awkward position, and now that he's got some boost, he can actually be a pretty threatening opponent here. Really going to put the pressure on Daniel, who is, again, going to continue to play this nuisance playstyle, does not want to abandon the ball quite yet. wants to keep this pressure up. The truth is can you blame him? If you give a little bit of space to Wizz, he's going to counterattack and punish you within seconds. Daniel, though, again, just kind of chasing the ball, really not allowing Wizz any sort of space. The minute he does, though, Wizz will take a ripper on target. Maybe not the greatest decision out of Wizz, as it really didn't give him much of a possession here. And as a result, Daniel's going to have an open net to shoot upon. Does not convert. You can see the issues with giving away possessions like that. Players like Daniel are all of a sudden going to punish because it turns into a much lengthier play than just a single possession. It turns into a goal, matter of fact. Wizz, unfortunately, all that started breaking down from that one shot at midfield, which was a bit unnecessary. 2 minutes remaining here, though. 3-4. Plenty of time for Wizz to try and make a comeback. Oh, but the kickoffs have still been, I was going to say deadly for Daniel, but what on earth? What a save out of Wizz is going to keep him alive for now. Daniel can't make the follow-up as that one goes off the bar as well. And Wizz is just kind of holding on here. 2 great saves in a row, but unfortunately it is all for naught. 5-3, Daniel cementing his lead a little bit further, but with 2 minutes remaining, definitely not something to where Wizz can try and count himself out yet. Daniel, though, going to continue to play this pressed offense. I do appreciate this, but the biggest thing that we've been mentioning the entire time that we've been casting Wizz is his adaptability, the ability to change up how he plays and to vary his playstyle against different opponents. And I think after about 3.5 minutes into this game, I think he's starting to figure out Daniel's strategy. The issue for Daniel is he's kind of gone back to the same strategy on repeat. How on earth do you make that save at 0 boost, Wizz? I don't think he's going to make the follow-up. No, he is not. 3-6, unfortunately. But Wizz is starting to make some necessary adjustments. He's playing a little bit better on the line. The question is can he start converting this into an actual offense? Some kickoff goals might just be beneficial for him, though. Daniel, again, a little bit too aggressive here. Wizz has got an open net. And here's the thing, a kickoff goal is, it's just a kickoff goal in itself, but you can tell the tendencies of Daniel or why that goal went in. He's a little bit too aggressive off a kickoff, and rather than backing off, he just kind of got screwed. And, well, he might just get screwed again here. Daniel going to actually give some space to Wizz finally. And Wizz, yep, chasing for the demo, is going to create even more space here. Daniel, early challenge. Again, the aggressiveness from Daniel is starting to become a bit predictable, and Wizz is recognizing that. Now he's just going to wait. He's going to wait for Daniel to try and make a challenge and then just continue to adapt as it goes on. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't really have a lot of time to do so. 40 seconds and down by 2. He's really got to rush if he wants a shot here. Oh, but Daniel's in a very awkward position here. Yeah, and Wizz knows it. Pops it on target there, and that's the issue with over-aggression is your defense can get a little bit spotty. And then after being up 3 goals, all of a sudden, now Daniel is facing himself possibly getting, I'd say, the comeback loss here as Wizz is building up more and more momentum. And with 30 seconds left and a strategy that's working well against Daniel, you can tell Daniel's starting to panic a little bit. These touches are a lot less precise. There's a lot more just sort of panicked. And unfortunately, he's now given a ton of space and time to Wizz. Wizz going to pop one over him and has completed the comeback. 15 seconds left. And at this point, all he's got to do is hold on tight and maybe even take an overtime. We may not even see overtime if this can go well enough in regulation, which I don't know if it did. That kickoff's okay for Wizz. Now he's just got to try to hold on. 10 seconds left. Wait a minute. Daniel's just going to give him a free possession. Why would you do this? Daniel, what are you doing? Wizz going to pop it, and no, it doesn't find its way into the back of the net. Daniel almost just gave up a win for no reason there. Instead, Wizz is going to have to retry this one in overtime. The kickoff does go in his favor, and yeah, Daniel's just going to pop it for no reason. That is the issue, is Daniel is starting to panic, and he's making these, normally I would say it's a nuisance touch to sort of keep the possession away from Wizz. Instead, though, he's kind of just now popping it for no reason. That shot right there, oh no, is going to be punishing, though. I thought Wizz had the save, but unfortunately not. Daniel gets a little bit lucky on the line, and Wizz will make the final error. Hey, listen, I can't show you guys all just wins from Wizz. He's a good player, but sometimes you have to show a little bit of vulnerability here. This is definitely a winnable position for Wizz, though. He just kind of got caught up in the moment here, and rather than trying to play, again, this sort of defensive play style that we had seen previously, you can see right, where is it? Let's see if we can find this moment where he challenges just way too early here. Yep, Daniel, at this point, he should not have given Daniel the space anyways, but that's not really the point. But right there. This turn, just not viable. Daniel has the ball on his card. He knows he can flick this high and put this around you, and as a result, the save is a whole lot more awkward than it needs to be, and he cannot turn that into a counterattack. So unfortunately, Wizz is not going to go perfect for the day. He's going to go 2-1 on the day, but you guys got to see the utmost best out of him in pretty much every sense of the word. Daniel really did take a very, very narrow margin of victory there, and I think that's something that Wizz should be ashamed of. It was a really good fight nonetheless. But, no one's invincible. No one is invulnerable, and sometimes you are going to take losses. Wizz is a great player nonetheless, who I think people really do need to be paying attention to. So if you guys do want to see more of Wizz, I'm going to link his Twitch as well as his Twitter down below. He's streaming on Twitch every once in a while, but he posts on Twitter pretty often. So if you really want to go interact with him and go check out what he's doing, go follow him on there. Otherwise, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for coming through here today. This video was a blast to make. It's been a while since I've been able to cast 1v1s on replays, which I know something is that you guys have been asking for on the channel on repeat. So hopefully this will satisfy you guys and you can have some more, Rocket League action to watch over. But I promise you, I'm going to be back with more Rocket League 1v1 content. It just sort of is unfortunate to where I kind of have to block out a part of my day and make sure to get all this done and then go edit all of it and then upload it and all of that. And like I said, considering the amount of RLCS play that I've been working on lately and the amount of teams that I've been working with, I just don't necessarily have the same amount of time that I did previously. But like I said, I really do want to get back on this grind. So please keep me updated with everything that you guys want to see. If you have any people that you want to see specifically, let me know and I'll go check ball chasing to see if they've got replays of them playing against each other. I don't care if it's 3 years old. I don't care if it's 3 days old. I'll go and watch over it if you guys recommend it. So please keep me posted on everything that you guys want to see on the channel. I will try to oblige the best I can. But for right now, that is everything. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Peace out, and I will see you guys next time.